As a photographer and filmmaker, there are 4 different things that you need to balance when working with clients. The client's wants, the client's needs, the client's budget, and your own creative vision. All 4 factors play a huge role when it comes to planning, production, and the final outcome. So in this video, I want to give a simple guide to how I work with clients. And although this is with emphasis on product photography and video, there's a similar process to other services that I provide, depending on the client's needs, of course. So with that said, let me walk you through my process. Stage 1, contact. So everything starts with somebody contacting me. Either it's via email, or there's a client referral, or they found some of my stuff on YouTube or on Instagram. Regardless how they find me, I always make sure that the potential client has seen some of my previous work, just so they have an expectation of what my style is. After that, it's my turn to get to know the client, like the people behind the company, its history, what their product is, and of course their demographic. And although I do love talking with people, this doesn't have to be too detailed. I just want to know who they are, what they do, their wants and their needs. It's important for me to learn what the client's expectations are to the services that I'm providing. And also it's important for me to set a realistic expectation. Always better to over-deliver than under-deliver, without short-selling yourself, of course. Stage 2, creative brief. There are so many ways of putting this together. Since my clients usually are small or medium-sized businesses, I try to put together a 3-part document for this. Part 1, creative brief. Part 2, mood board. Part 3, the offer. And every part needs to fit on 1 page. I prefer to just keep it short so I don't waste the client's time by then needing to read to eternity and beyond. So the creative brief. This part consists of the following: summary of the client or the company, the target group, the product, meaning what they're making, the client's needs, suggested marketing materials, meaning photo and video, and the style and the feel of the photo and video or the visual marketing. Then there's the mood board. Here I put together a collection of photos and maybe some videos that represents the style that I'm picturing for the client's materials. The end product will not look like the mood board. The mood board, it's just to give a feel of what I'm going for. The third part, the offer. Depending on what the client has or has not communicated on an earlier stage, here I present which of my services I think would fit the client's needs, and I price it out for them with detailed lists of what is included in the offer and in the price. The time frame and payment details are also specified in this part. So after creating these documents, I send it off to the client, and when the client is ready to move forward, we get into stage 3, the production part. But before actually starting the production, there's first an invoice that I send to the client needs to pay. It's like a deposit. Also, if there are special props that we have agreed upon to include in the final product, this is also factored in that first initial invoice. This is specified in the first document, the first offer that I send to the client. When the payment comes in, I get my hands dirty and start shooting and producing the client materials. I work as agreed upon, I get the final product and I send this off to the client with the final invoice as well. But sometimes things doesn't go as planned. While shooting as a creative, it's easier to see better, more fitting solutions. Like there's nothing wrong with just pursuing what is agreed upon, but let's say that I'm shooting and let's say there are small details to how we're framing a product, how the close-ups are done, or which props to include. If I see a better solution that I really think would benefit the client, I will contact them and say, hey, I'm shooting, I have a different idea. What if we make this small adjustment? This isn't a big grandiose thing. It's just to show that photos and videos is not a one-size-fits-all. Usually there's no need to make changes because we already have the creative brief. The client has the the opportunity to make requests of change at that earlier point. So usually pretty smooth sailing. So that is my short guide to how I work with clients. If you're an owner of a company who's in need of marketing materials for your super duper products, head over to the website, or if you're only on the website, super duper, just go to the contacts form, hit me an email, and I'll get back to you as soon as I read it. But if you're a dude or a dudette who's watching this video on YouTube, super cool. Hope you also got something out of this. If you liked it, there is a like button down below, just saying. Subscribe to follow along, and I will see you hopefully in the next video. Ciao!